Welcome to the party, pal. You're from the neighborhood Mastercast, back with you once again for another box set review Sunday. Today we're taking a look at the release from Eureka Films. This is the Sabata Trilogy, and yes, it is an Amray case. Not exactly a box set, but it includes 3 films. We're taking a look at a trilogy. It is a collection of similar films. So to me, it's a box set. Sit back, relax, let's talk spaghetti.
Back from the dead.
The Sabata Trilogy, now the Ciabatta Trilogy. Ciabatta is a bread, Sabata is a man, a sharpshooter. And in the case of this trilogy, he's sort of a little bit of everything. In the first one, he's a bounty hunter. In the second one, he's a soldier of fortune. And in the third one, a gambler. This is kind of a mess of a trilogy. I'm going to say this right off the bat. I'm a big spaghetti western fan. As you can probably tell from the posters behind me, you can see of them. I'm a big spaghetti western fan. As a matter of fact, I can't really say anything right now, but I might have some news when it comes to westerns. That's all I'm going to say right now. Hint, hint. Stay tuned for more. The Sabata Trilogy is very strange. Not unenjoyable, but not exactly a trilogy either. Let's unpack it. You got a nice little slip on here. Then it comes with the Amray case. You do have swappable artwork. The 3 films featured in this box set are Sabata, Adios, Sabata, and, of course, The Return of Sabata. Now, Sabata is really only played by Lee Van Cleef. There's 2 actors in this trilogy that play Sabata. But as far as I am concerned, Sabata is only Lee Van Cleef. Now, let me dig into that when we talk about the movies individually. So when we think Sabata, think Lee Van Cleef, and don't really think Yul Brynner. But we'll get to part 2 in a minute. Let's start with part 1. The first Sabata, in my opinion, is the best in the box set. It is a masterpiece film. It's a great spaghetti western, and one that I think is 100% worth your time. It starts off with a bonkers, exciting, really well-constructed bank heist where they steal a safe, and then Sabata shows up, foils the robbery, and then proceeds to blackmail all the people in the town, all the big head honcho guys who were responsible for said robbery. Turns out that the robbery wasn't masterminded by criminals or banditos or whatever. It was, masterminded by the rich people in town who were trying to double dip. It's a great sort of twist on the bank robbery formula, and the addition of the Sabata character is really exciting and unique because he is, for the most part, he's essentially the Mortimer character for a few dollars more. Van Cleef is anyway. But he's got a couple of add-on gimmicks, and of course, I think that speaks to the director's influence, Gianfranco Parolini, who I think is credited as Frank Kramer in these movies to appeal to the German market, according to Austin Fisher, who speaks about this in the special features. The director here definitely leans on the James Bond-esque elements of Sabata, and so he's got a ton of little gimmicks. He's got a super long-range rifle. He's got little hidden guns everywhere. He's definitely the gimmick guy, the gadget guy. And that makes it a lot of fun, very unique, and definitely very playful. The entire trilogy is a playful trilogy, and that's the good news. None of this is 100% dead serious. You can have fun and, at the same time, enjoy a little bloodshed along the way.
Nice.
I love that. The man with the gun sight eyes comes to kill. This is a lot of fun, and of course it's bolstered by the supporting cast, which involves a jovial, fat Mexican friend named Garincha. This actor will appear in all 3 of these movies as different characters. So when I say this is not really a trilogy, I mean that they're all sort of in alternate universes of each other, which is very odd, and I kind of wish they'd stayed in continuity. I'm a big continuity guy. I'm a big canon guy. As a writer, if you establish something and you're telling me this is a sequel, then you better continue with what we know it has been established, or else you're just shitting on your past work. That's my opinion. And I know a lot of people aren't into that, but to me, canon and continuity is a big fucking deal. And the fact that it doesn't do that sort of like guts the trilogy a little bit, but whatever. So to me, these are just 3 separate movies. But it's overall a very fun movie, and I think a worthy spaghetti western, and one that I think is right up there with some of the best. My favorite, by the way, is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I love that movie very much. I know it's the standard choice, but it really is a fantastic fucking movie on all levels. Second favorite, Compañeros. I would put Sabata somewhere in there with Django in terms of just really well constructed, well made, and well worth your time spaghetti westerns. Sabata, 5 stars. I'm going to give this sucker 5 stars. I really love this movie. I think you guys are going to have a fantastic time watching it. Are you going to enjoy the other ones? Let's find out.
Well, we're waiting.
Adios, Sabata is part 2, and unfortunately, in my opinion, it is not a Sabata movie because it wasn't shot as a Sabata movie. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you standing on the edge of your seat? Well, I guess you wouldn't be standing on it, but you know what I mean. It's an Indio Black movie. Well, who the fuck is Indio Black? What do you mean Indio Black? Good question. I don't know who Indio Black is. Indio Black is Yul Brynner. They shot this movie as an Indio Black movie, same director, Gianfranco Parolini. Basically, this is not a Sabata movie. This is an Indio Black movie. They just dubbed in, oh, this is my friend Sabata instead of Indio Black, you know, that kind of shit. The original title was longer. I think it was Indio Black, Meet Your Maker, or Your Son of a Bitch, or something like that. It was like one of those really long titles, which I love. I love those long titles. Anyway, Adios, Sabata is essentially the same type of movie. It's all about gold. The first one was about this big bank robbery heist and, you know, blackmailing the people who had the gold. And now Sabata, or Indio Black, I should say, is teamed up with some Mexican revolutionaries who want to steal some gold from some asshole Austrians who are sort of land barons of this part in sort of this border area between Mexico and the U.S. And they want to steal this gold to buy some guns, to lead a revolution, to overthrow the Austrians. So Indio Black, you know, slash Sabata teams up with these Mexicans to find the gold. Where's the gold? Who's got the gold? Do you have the gold? No. Where's the gold? Is there gold over here? I don't know. Where's the gold? Nobody knows where the fucking gold is. The whole movie's a big gold chase. Do we have the gold? No, it's not gold. It's mud. Oh, okay. Where's the gold? It might be over there. Let's go over there. It's a little exhausting, to be honest, but not without its fair share of fun. Adios, Sabata is a lot of fun. Of course, Yul Brynner brings his own energy to it. He's not as cheeky, I should say, as Lee Van Cleef is in the role. He's still a lot of fun. He definitely adds a bit of energy that's needed and some levity and definitely a presence that's needed in these kind of movies. You know, you can really tell when a spaghetti western is missing that presence. You're like, this is a little weak. Something's missing here. And this one's not missing that, which is the good news. Yul Brynner definitely stands up to the task of leading man here. It's definitely leaning on a lot of pastiche elements from other spaghetti westerns. Leans on Magnificent Seven, of course, because of Yul Brynner and his swagger in that movie. Swagger is a good word. The first 2 movies have a ton of swagger. Not as many gadgets. He's got one gadget that he uses, sort of a rifle clip, like a shotgun clip, where he goes ba 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 ba, and he's able to shoot really fast. Still really fast on the draw. Still a really good sharpshooter. Essentially the same character with a weird kind of like open shirt kind of look. You know, he still dresses in black, but he doesn't have the sort of the austere older man gambler appeal of Lee Van Cleef's Sabata. Of course, because he was a different character, so that's why he would look different. And the fact that it was renamed Sabata is a bit of a cheat, but this is something they do all the time in Italian films. It's kind of you know, it happens. It's kind of a bummer, honestly, continuity-wise. So again, I can't really say this is a trilogy, and I can't say that this is a Sabata movie, but it's a very good movie. Is it the best? No. I'm going to give it 4 stars, only because I feel that the first one I felt dragged a bit. They're all about an hour and 46 minutes, which is weird. About 46, an hour and 45. They're all around that time frame. And they're too long. I think all 3 movies are way too long. They kind of overstay their welcome, in my opinion. This is coming from the guy who loves Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is 3 hours. I think that's a perfect length for that movie. This one, there's not enough plot to buoy that up, if you know what I mean. There's not enough story to give us that much of a runtime, so it's a lot of repetition. In the first movie, the guy's being blackmailed, keeps sending assassins to kill Sabata. So it's like assassin attempt, assassin attempt, assassin attempt. Okay, let's wrap this up. You could have cut 20 minutes and it made it nice and tight. Same with Adios, Sabata. Where's the gold? Where's the gold? Where's the gold? Where's the gold? Not here. Where's the gold? Over there. No, not there. And so there's a lot of this back and forth stuff that it could have been easily cut and trimmed. Save you about 20 minutes and you would have this really tight movie. But again, I'm nitpicking as a filmmaker. Overall, 4 stars, I think, is a solid number for Adios, Sabata, the second in our trilogy.
I know. It's hard to understand. But at least now it can't get much worse.
But it did get worse.
Last and unfortunately least, Return of Sabata. Of course, the Return of Sabata, because Lee Van Cleef returns to the role. This is definitely more in keeping with what has been established in the first movie, except for the fact that Garincha, our jovial sidekick from the first film, I don't know the actor's name, and I'm blanking on it right now. I actually don't know if we were ever told his name, but he's amazing, and I'm sorry for not knowing his name, but he played Garincha in the first one. He returns in this movie as another character. So, as a canon fan, as a continuity fan, this is an alternate universe Sabata movie, not unconnected to the other movies, only a loose trilogy. There. I'm going to stop talking about that, but it really bugs me when they do stuff like that. Anyway, Sabata returns, and this is unfortunately kind of a boring movie. I hate saying that, but I was pretty bored with this one, and I was hoping, with the return of Van Cleef that we would get that, continue the swagger and the energy. And while the swagger's there and he's really good, the plot lets him down big time.
What? No.
As a matter of fact, it's still with the same runtime, and I think cutting it down by 20 minutes still would have saved this movie quite a bit. This movie doesn't really develop a plot until an hour into it. I'm not kidding. For the first, I was 30 minutes into it, I'm like, wait a minute. What is this about? What are we doing here? What is the story here? The first 2 movies, right out of the gate, this is what's happening. Bank heist. This is what's happening. Mexicans need money for guns, and Sabata is gonna help them get it. This one, I had no idea what was happening. It wasn't until about 55 minutes into the damn thing that I realized, oh, okay, so now we're finally getting a story here. Because the movie decides to just fucking take a lackadaisical pace when it comes to developing its story. And there's not much story here. Sabata goes to a small boom town, and he just kind of hangs out. He goes to the bar, he gets a haircut, hangs out, talks to some people. He just kind of chillaxes, and then he finds out that the town is taxing everybody. The citizens are being taxed by the mayor or the governor or whoever. There's always a bad guy. This is less James Bondian than the first 2. The first 2 had really James Bondian type villains. This guy's really kind of a flat villain too, which doesn't help the movie's case. He's taxing everybody, but he's taxing it for their own good, so they can make the town bigger and better. Okay, and everybody's happy, happy to pay. But, of course, Sabata doesn't want to pay tax. Fuck you, I'm not paying tax. What do you think I am? I'm not paying tax. 20% extra for a haircut? Fuck you, I ain't gonna do that. I'm Sabata, man. What the fuck? Of course, this rifles feathers, and he gets in trouble, but not much trouble, because nobody really dies in this movie until way past the hour mark. I think Austin Fisher in this special features comments that it happens about 75 minutes into this movie. We finally get some death. That's not good. That's no bueno, my friend, because that's disappointing. This is a spaghetti western. We want some bloodshed. There is some shooting, but it all turns out to be a farce. I'm not going to go into details. I don't want to spoil things too much. Essentially, this is a movie about Sabata not wanting to pay tax and wanting to kind of stick it to the man, and then the man wanting to get back at Sabata for sort of rifling the town's feathers and stirring shit up. And so, yeah, the last third of the movie, I should say, is more Sabata-like, where he raids the compound of the rich dude, and there's shootouts and explosions and things like that, and yada yada yada. But the movie is honestly such a boring, dull mess. I was falling asleep, and I was like, oh, whoa, wait, what did I miss? And I'd rewind, and I'm like, oh, I didn't miss anything. I literally just fell asleep for a second, but it felt like an eternity. This, unfortunately, is a very, very boring movie. I hate saying that. It hurts my heart to say that, because I love Van Cleef, I love spaghetti westerns, but the plot here drops the ball heavy, heavy, heavy. Like I said, no real deaths until past the hour mark. No real clear plot. And what I mean by clear is, this is what the movie's about. Okay. There's no real narrative drive. Sabata's just fucking hanging out, talking to people. He's just hanging out. This isn't a TV show. This isn't Deadwood. We don't need an episode of character development. No, what we need is a fucking story so we can get on with our day and finish this movie. And the movie doesn't do that, unfortunately. And very, very disappointing. And alternate universe on top of it. So, 3 stars. I'm gonna be nice and give it 3 stars. But Return of Sabata is very disappointing. One that honestly I'm going to forget about almost immediately after filming this video. And we'll probably watch it in a year and be like, have I seen Return of Sabata? I don't remember. Let me check my YouTube channel and double check, and I'll watch this and be like, oh, hey. So, hey, future me, you didn't like it. The first 2 are good, but the third one is really boring. There you go. Leave it there. 3 stars. Return of Sabata. Let's talk about the special features. Tons of good stuff on this when it comes to special features. You get a commentary on each of the films. Commentary with critic Kim Newman on Sabata. Adios Sabata features historian Mike Siegel, and Return of Sabata features my pal Courtney Joyner as well as Henry Park. I'm tempted to listen to that commentary because Courtney's a buddy of mine, but God, I don't know that I could sit through that movie again. I really didn't like it. Something I should mention, I don't think I have. This is Region B. This is a Region B release, so you do have to be region free if you're gonna pick this up, or if you're debating whether to pick this up or not. As far as I know, there is no U.S. release on the horizon, but it's worth it. Get yourself a region-free player. You're honestly going to spend a lot more money, but it'll be worth it. You get some good shit. Well, at least 2 out of 3 is good. Also, Austin Fisher, I've mentioned his name quite a bit. He's the author of Radical Frontiers in the Spaghetti Western, Politics, Violence, and Popular Italian Cinema. Austin Fisher is there for all 3 movies, and it's about... every little featurette varies, I think. He speaks the least, I should say, on Return of Sabata for about 11 minutes. The other one's about 14, 16 minutes long, and he talks about the background, the shooting, the reception of the films. Very good stuff. Definitely puts the films in context. And even he will talk about how they're all very uneven. He likes the first one, and the second one he speaks about the fact that this is an Indio-Black movie, not a Sabata movie. And he talks a little bit about Return of Sabata and sort of how it dealt with sort of political topics of the time that weren't really addressed, and how they, at least the last 2 films, very pastiches of almost every other spaghetti western movie that had come before that, Django and things like that. Really great special features. Highly recommend it in that regard. But let's talk about the other little extra that comes in here, and that's your booklet, your basic little booklet. Really nice little reading material here for the Sabata Trilogy. The first one is an essay, and I don't know if it's the same person. I'm going to get their name correct for you here because I want that to be covered. Howard Hughes, of course. Howard Hughes, called Circus Maximus, the films of Gianfranco Parolini. It's very lengthy. It's about 19 of these pages anyway, talking about the entire filmography of Parolini. It's a little dry because it's essentially just like he did this, and then he did that, and then he did this, and then he did that, with a little color commentary in between. Then next, Howard provides another lengthy essay specifically on the Sabata Trilogy. I prefer Sartana, to be honest. I think Sartana is way better, but that's a story for another time. Here he speaks about all 3 Sabata movies and the ins and outs of the production. You get some lovely stills and things like that, and it's wonderful reading material. It definitely adds to the experience, but again, there's only so much information, so if you listen to the commentary track, I think you're good. But that's on you. It depends on how much effort and time you have, and you're willing to donate to the Sabata Trilogy. Well, there you go, my friends. That is my review, my box set Sunday review on the Sabata Trilogy. Every Sunday, I try to bring you a new box set review whenever possible, so I hope you'll join me for the next video or the next box set review. If you're new here, do consider subscribing, my friend, because that means you and I get to hang out again. We're at the end of 2021. There's going to be one more box set review before we wrap it up. But I hope to see you in 2022, so leave me a thumbs up on your way out the door. I love you. I love you just the way you are. Remember that. Take care of yourselves, and remember, don't take any plug nickels. I don't know what that means. I heard it in a movie. I'm sending you your way. Don't take any plug nickels. Signing off for now.